Before we get into this, I can't stress enough how much this video isn't aimed at anyone in particular. I'm not necessarily saying that your music is bad, I'm just trying to help us all keep on singing. Now this video is heavily influenced by this book, by Christopher Ash. It's a decent little book, but it's got a great appendix at the back. It's all about how to listen to bad sermons. Now that got me thinking, how do we worship when the music is bad? When we sing in response to what God has revealed to us about himself, about who he is and what he's done for us in Jesus Christ. As we sing, we praise the Lord, we encourage the church, and we reach the world. Psalm 96 puts it this way: "Sing to the Lord a new song. Sing to the Lord, all the earth. Sing to the Lord, praise his name, proclaim his salvation day after day. Declare his glory among the nations, his marvellous deeds among all the peoples." How do we keep doing all of that, even when the music is bad? What do I mean by bad music? Well, there's a number of different things, but maybe you think the music at your church is boring. There's probably 100 different ways that people at church would say that the music is boring. What is it for you? Maybe it's the music is too repetitive, or the songs are too bland, or they all sound the same, or you think you're singing the same songs week after week. When we think the music is boring, I think we need to stop, step back, and get a view of the big picture. We need to be amazed at God and the gospel. The gospel is good news. It's amazing that God would love us so much that he'd send his son into the world to live a perfect life and to die in our place, to bear the judgment that we deserve. Isn't that amazing? It's good news, and that can never get boring. And we should be singing about that in our songs. And we can display God as amazing in the way that we sing. So I would suggest if we look bored when we're singing, then we're not displaying God as amazing. So keep singing. The people around you need to hear you sing. We talked a little bit about this in my last video. When I'm faced with music which might not be to my taste, what do? Well, Lewis says that's the perfect opportunity to show humility and show some love to my brothers and sisters around me. So that's when the music is boring. But what about when the music is distracting? Picture the scene. You stand up to sing the first song and all of a sudden you're distracted. Maybe the pitch is too high or the tempo is too fast. Maybe it's something to do with the mix, something's too loud or too quiet. Or maybe it's something that someone's doing up front, something that is distracting you, whether it's the leader or someone in the band. What do we do in those circumstances? I think the first thing to do is avoid being overly critical. I know my tendency is to criticize others. And we want to keep singing just for the same reasons that we said before. As we sing, we praise the Lord and we encourage the church and we reach the world. So we want to keep on doing that even if we're tempted to be distracted. And when we're distracted, maybe we can pray to God to focus our minds on him and the good news of the gospel and enable us to keep on singing. Those are just a few ideas. Lastly, thinking of bad worship music. What if it's heretical? Whoa, heresy is a big claim, so we want to be careful when we're making that. Maybe you think the lyrics are bad or untrue or they're just saying wrong things. But it's not always heresy. Maybe you think the lyrics are just unclear or unhelpful or just a bit vague. What do we do in those circumstances? Well, it's right to be discerning. When we sing, we do sing to those around us, and we are teaching them as we sing. So we want to be discerning about the things that we sing. We want to sing true and good things about God and the gospel. Perhaps the lyrics are unclear. Well, one thing that might be helpful is inserting biblical truth in between lines. Lastly, if you're in this situation, I would suggest talking to your pastor or the person who leads the music. Ask them a question about it and be nice. I would suggest not doing it on a Sunday and don't do it over email. Try and sit down with them in person and try and learn more. So there's just a few ideas about how we can keep on singing even when the music's bad.